Everybody, it's Ed and Jotty with the drill pad. Let's all fall in and let's start getting this thing going. First off, let's talk about hard work. Who knows what hard work looks like? Maybe they've seen it from a parent. Maybe they've seen it from a peer or a colleague. To me, hard work boils down to responsibility. You can't take ownership of something and not bear the responsibility that comes with it. So maybe you're a commander of a drill team. Well, it's not going to be easy managing that team, and it takes a lot of heart to make sure that thing happens, because winning doesn't happen overnight. It takes hard work, and when you take ownership of that team, you'll start to understand. Sometimes you can learn hard work from your failures. Maybe you're tired of getting the second places. Maybe you're tired of showing out at your competitions and always losing to the same team. Well, guess what? I promise you, every time you compete, every time you perform, there's a lesson learned everywhere. And if you're learning from those lessons, I can guarantee you, you'll start to learn what hard work is. Staying consistent. I will not lie to you. Talking to you all every week has taken a lot of consistency and taken away my already busy schedule with my job and away from my family. To be able to do this, to get the message out there, to get these guys' stories out there. It all takes consistency. It takes hard work. And that's something that I'm learning along the way. Is I thought this thing could be fun and very lackadaisical and you know what, maybe have a good time with it. But then started realizing that the more and more people that are listening in, I'm just like, oh, you know what? I don't want to give them an okay story or an okay lesson. I want to be sure that everybody here learns something from this, whether it's from me or the legends that all come with me. And sometimes you maybe have that good example. For me, it was my parents. It was my dad. My dad is a hard worker. He is a truck driver. He drives to and from all over the states. He's only known the road. And watching him grow up, it taught me what that hard work looks like. That if you want things in life, they're not going to be handed to you. You have to work hard. And that's what's helped me understand what hard work is. And people will tell you, before you win, people will ask you why you're working so hard. And after you win, people will remind you how lucky you got. And that's the difference between a hardworking mindset, is that some people's outlooks think that you were just given it to it, but you were lucky. You have to keep in mind that it is your hard work that is helping you drive forward and continue to push. When I think of hard work, I also think of the core values, not just in the Marine Corps, but all of them. The Army has 7. Army has loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, commitment. Navy and Marine Corps share theirs: honor, courage, commitment. The Air Force, integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do. The Coast Guard, honor, respect, devotion to duty. And the Space Force, character, connection, commitment, and courage. All of those things, I believe, define what hard work is. I remember I used to walk around base in the Marine Corps, and I would have staff NCOs. They'd ask me like, hey there, devil, hey there, Marine, show me your honor, courage, commitment card. And when you graduate basic training, you're given this little red card and it says honor, courage, commitment. And it has a little eagle, globe, and anchor on it. And you carry that in your breast pocket. And I could be wrong, but I was always told that it is in your uniform regulations to always have that honor, courage, commitment card in your breast pocket. So I remember I always had it either there, in my wallet. I'm pretty sure I still have it in my wallet to this day. I carry that thing around just in case if somebody asks me, but also it's a good reminder for myself because I know I can't give up on the things that I want. That if I want to be the leader that I am, if I want to be the leader that I can be, I need a good reminder what hard work looks like. Honor, courage, commitment helps me. When I was in the Marine Corps, I learned a lesson from one of my officers. He was Chief Warrant Officer Cole at the time. He's now Major Cole, and he just retired from the Marine Corps. He is one of the greatest leaders I've ever met in my life. If he told me, hey, Sergeant A, through that door, we have a 99% chance of dying, but if you follow me, I promise you, we'll make it through. If he told me that, I would follow him to death, even if that's what it brought me, because I trusted my leadership. He taught me 3 things in what leadership can be defined as, and maybe everybody has their own, but 3 things I define leadership. You must be able to teach, motivate, and inspire. And let me break that down. If I'm going to be in charge, like let's say a drill team, right? If I'm going to be in charge of a unit, a platoon, whatever, I have to have the ability to teach. I can't just say, hey, Lance Corporal so-and-so, go do it. Hey, Sergeant A, I don't know how to do it. Hey, well, I don't care. Just go do it. That's not teaching them. No one is learning anything there. All you're doing is setting them up for failure. You must be able to teach. If you can't teach your younger subordinates on how to do something, then what makes you think you're going to be successful as a leader and as a unit? So take away from this my future commanders, my soon-to-be commanders, maybe my freshmen or sophomores that are aspiring to be in those leadership roles. You have to be able to teach. And not everybody learns the same way, so you better be really good at adapting, which brings me to my next thing. You have to be able to motivate. So no different than what I'm doing here for you all, right? If I didn't think I could get you to learn the lessons that I'm trying to give you, this thing wouldn't be happening. I wouldn't be right here on your phone while you listen to me try to learn the lessons that I am if I was monotoned or if I had no meaning behind any message I was giving and I just said, hey, here's Alejandro. and we asked questions that maybe had zero direction. It wouldn't make sense. You have to be able to get your team fired up and motivated. When I first started coaching with my son's school, it was a very slow walk before we started running. And that goes for anybody. If you're starting at zero, you can't expect everybody to get up and go. And it's all about certain takeaways. So when I was teaching them in the very beginning, I had to tell them, if we master the basics, if we can get the basics down and we can do X once this year, we've succeeded. You have to understand, everybody, if you can be perfect in your knowledge, if you can look great in your uniform, if we can look sharp on our regulation, if we take first those places, do great in color guard first there, we can be sub-average, below average in X. And guess what? We still walk away with the first overall. The possibilities are there. Don't just limit yourself to certain things and don't be closed-minded. Motivate your team to make sure that they see the light at the end of the tunnel. You cannot allow them to deflate. If they deflate, you'll lose your team. And you can't be too hard on them. You have to be able to give and take here and there. Sometimes they need a break. Sometimes they need to be able to take a breather and take a team day. Find ways to get them back up and motivated again. Seniors, we all fall into senioritis. It's a curse. Don't be the reason why your team falls because the seniors are starting to decline in their motivation to stay. And last but not least, you have to inspire. They have to be able to look up to you. I can't imagine myself if I didn't have my military background, if I didn't have my drill team background, if I wasn't able to be successful in my successes as to why you would even bother listening. My experiences in my young adult life and my adult life, I feel like I have enough knowledge and leadership to be able to inspire you all into hoping for the next best thing. And these are things that I learned from Alejandro while I was talking to him. One of the biggest lessons I learned was not allowing life to stop you at achieving your dreams. And what blows my mind is Alejandro is 35. He's a few years older than me, and he's performing this thing at such a high level and still competing. And it blows my mind because for me, I'm over here thinking, you know what, drill's behind me. I'm not trying to pick up the rifle and compete again, but I'll tell you what, listening to that man and him convince me otherwise has put a completely different outlook on me. Don't get me wrong, I'm still retired. I don't think you'll see Ed Andrade walk into the world's drill pad anytime soon. But nonetheless, it's given me a completely different outlook. Throughout this entire interview that I had with Alejandro, everybody, his audio is a little bit softer than mine. That's because when I was talking to him, he was working. Alejandro told me, he's like, yeah, I'll fit you into my schedule. Yeah, no problem. I'm like, okay, great. And I try to be as flexible as possible. If we need to do it at 3 a.m, hey, I'll do it at 3 a.m. But he said, yeah, no problem, man. I got it, whatever. I'm like, okay, Ty, great. And then when I put him through this Zoom call with me, in a sense, and he tells me, he's like, and I hear all the shuffling and these beepings. I'm like, hey, man, you good? You busy? He's like, oh, yeah, no, I'm just working. He's like, this is probably the best time to get me. I'm like, what? And his grind never stopped. He literally was just at work answering my questions, being as forefront and honest and motivating as he can while he's working. And it blew my mind. And it is just so impressive at the things that I learned from him, and just being able to talk to him has inspired me. But let's get to the real reason why we're here. Everybody, without further ado, I give you your 2019 World Drill Champion, Alejandro Polino. Alejandro, can you please go ahead and tell everybody that doesn't know who you are, maybe a little intro about yourself?
Yeah, guys, my name is Alejandro Paulino, 35 years old. I've been drilling for a little bit over 20 years. I am the commander of the Battleborn Elite Drill Team, one of the founders of the Sin City Drillers Drill Team, our drill organization. And yeah, just glad to be here.
Man, it's so nice to know that, I mean, guys within our realm, right, where we've been drilling for so long. And it's good to know that there's more guys like you and I at our age that still have a love and a passion for this thing. I can't get over it, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So for all those that may not know who Alejandro Polino is, how did drill start for you? Where did that journey begin?
So when I first started, I started freshman year, I did color guard, mainly because there was no drill team. Because my school, the JROTC program, I was the first graduating class of my JROTC. So like I started it up and then the first all 4-year person to graduate from there.
Oh, okay.
So drill was completely new to everybody, and we didn't get a drill team until sophomore year. So sophomore year, I join up. We go to our first competition. We only did regulation and inspection.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. So the team I've been coaching the last few years with my son, they're a brand new school. Their school has only existed now for going on 5 years or 6 years.
Mhm.
Very new. When I went to the program, they were doing the exact same thing. For that sophomore year, when you got things going,
Yeah.
was there like a struggle that you had in that year? What was it that started that sophomore year and kind of gradually built to that senior year of yours?
After that first competition we went to, it was like Marine DIs in our face, all that. And I saw at the end of it, they have a solo, or like our version of solo exhibition. It's called Rifle Forelock. Pretty much you stand in a 4x4 mock and you spin for a minute and a half. And after seeing that and like the competitors go up, it lit something in me where it's like, I gotta learn how to do that and I gotta get good at it. So the obsession of wanting to get good at that, whatever they were doing, it began. And I was training morning, like before school, during school, like lunchtime, after school, at home. I was like completely obsessed with trying to get good at drill in the rifle twirl off space. So yeah, just after that first competition, the rest was pretty much history, and it just kind of lit a fire in me to get better and better.
Oh man, that sounds just just about like everybody else, right? They see those first set of guys that go up there and what you think is the impossible, and you're just like, how, why? And it's just that drive and that hunger for more. So I agree with it. You had mentioned that you've been doing this for almost 20 years now, right?
Yes, sir.
So what has motivated you to stay in this for so long? Because it could be wrong, but I mean, at least I don't think that there are many guys around our age that are doing this, but they're performing at a level at where you're at. What has kept you motivated and what has kept you uh, to stay involved for so long?
So my motivations have changed throughout the years. After high school, I was still drilling, but not to the level I was like today. It wasn't until I was 24 years old, 25 years old, where I stepped back into the competitive world drill champion stage. And so when I stepped back in, my main motivation was literally to just like be a part of the drill community. And then after I competed in 2015, it changed to wanting to become a world champion. And then in the journey of me wanting to become a world champion, I was like, well, now I want to start, a drill club in Las Vegas. So it just kept changing and changing. And what it looks like today for me is I stay in for the community I have in Vegas, the Sin City Drillers, but also the drill team that we've built, the Battleborn Elite Drill Team, and wanting to do more and more performances and just kind of see how far we could take that. So, as of right now, that's the main motivation.
Man, I saw on your Instagram that you guys performed at a Golden State Warriors
Yeah,
game.
that was awesome.
So I saw that. Man, I was like, these guys are getting their name on the map. And that is so cool. Would have been more awesome if you got Steph Curry in the middle and y'all got to toss it between them.
Oh, that would have been great. That would have been great.
Oh, that'd have been the cherry on top, man. That is so cool.
Yeah,
And you talked about wanting to be world drill champion, right?
right.
And you did win one year. It was I think it was 2018. Was that right?
2019.
2019. So 2019, the year that you won
Uh-huh.
World Drill as a soloist. Take me a look behind the scenes of that year. I mean, because I mean, obviously, I know you were drilling beforehand, a few years before that year led up to. But what did that specific year of 2019 look like? Was it just, you know what, hey, if there's going to be a year, this is going to be it? Or did you change your practice times? How did that year look to make sure you that you succeeded and got that title as a world drill champion?
So what changed? So in 2018, I had gotten second place at the World Girl Championship, and I thought I gave it all that year, but I just came up a little short. And so in 2019, it was like the first time in my life where I practiced putting it out in the universe and saying I will win out loud. I just had to put the work behind it, and I trained almost 7 days a week, like so I work graveyard shift at a casino. So
Hmm.
after work, it'll be like 7 a.m. I would come home, immediately practice my routine a couple times, and then go to bed, like right after a long shift of graveyard. And I did that. So if I could do this at my most tired, literally getting off work at like 6 a.m., then I can perform in Daytona where it's a way better scenario. I have rest, like I have food in my system. So that's what I was doing. I upped my training in the gym. I got crazy strong. I was just trying to do everything I could, make sure that I was as successful as I could. And yeah, and it really showed. I think that was my strongest performance to date because I was absolutely confident in every step way of my routine.
Yeah, no, 100%. And just before talking the last couple days, I've gone back and looked at some of your stuff. I mean, just looking at a lot of your material, you're a strong driller, but hands down, that 2019 routine looked unbreakable. It shows the work and it shows the ethic, and I can see like you had mentioned, the tireless nights, the endless days, just constant work and the drive. Because I know the feeling of what it's like to walk up on a stage and take second when you've been so hungry for first,
Uh-huh.
and the drive it takes you to get to that first place and finally earning it is, I can only imagine the emotions and everything you had. But when they first announced your name that you were the champion, what was walking through your head at that time? Were you kind of like pondering, be like, oh, you know what, maybe this wasn't it, and then the moment it happened, you're like, oh my god, or how? Walk us through the moments when they were announcing names at the award ceremony.
So it was weird because it's like everyone, at least in my squad that was with me, they kind of knew, and even me, not to sound cocky or sound like overly confident, I kind of knew myself because I had just burned that belief in my head for a whole year. So it was almost like losing wasn't an option. I wasn't accepting the loss in my head. So I didn't expect to lose, but it was like when I went up there and got it, having that extreme belief and extreme like knowing that you're gonna win, the actual winning itself, I didn't feel the win until months later, if that makes sense.
No,
Because
that totally makes sense.
it was so underwhelming when I went up there. I was like, well, I literally achieved what I wanted to achieve. What now? And that was my problem. I didn't know how to stay in the moment, relish and be like, okay, you won. You've been training for this. You're pretty much your whole drill life. Like, be happy. So it didn't really hit me until a few months later. Like, wow, I'm a world champion because I was so worried about, all right, what's next? The next competition, the next this, the next that. But it was an exciting feeling. Me and my crew, we did celebrate, and it was a very happy moment. But that was just the honest feeling that I had at the moment.
No, it's almost like you'd mentioned, you put it out in the ether, you were forcing this thing out there, you were working your butt off, and it's kind of like when the moment happens, like you had said, you already kind of saw it coming. It kind of took the excitement out of it,
Uh huh.
but I mean, nonetheless, it is still a high achievement, and it's one that I'm sure that isn't only in history for yourself, but I'm sure others will remember as well.
I appreciate that. Thank
Of,
you.
of course, you had mentioned that you're part of Sin City and Battleborn.
Yes.
How how have those two groups influenced you and developed you as a driller?
So with the Sin City Drillers, that started before the Battleborn, and I'll explain both and the differences. So Sin City Drillers like really kept me motivated because it allowed me to have a squad behind me that can support me and I can support them. And because us as drillers, we all kind of have the same drive for drill, and it's hard to do it by yourself.
Of course, of course.
So, like, if I were to win Worlds by myself, I would have quit that same year. I would have been, oh, all right, I'm done. But because I had my squad behind me and I knew what their goals were and kind of their motivations, it made me want to stick around and help them out and build the community in Vegas. And with the Battleborn Elite Drill Team, they that was like an extra boost in drill because now I'm fulfilling what I've wanted to do for forever was to be a part of a performance drill team. Sort of like New Guard America, the Kings Guard drill team. That was like a fulfillment of that dream. And it's still happening. Like going to do performances, until I think I'm 50, I can probably do it. So as long as I stay fit and healthy, I feel like I can do it for years and years to come. And the differences between both of them is the Sin City Drillers organization is for the drillers in Las Vegas, and the drill team is almost if you can imagine the Navy and the Navy SEALs. The Navy SEALs are the
Hmm.
elite members, and the Navy is just a department. We are a group of individuals who decided, all right, we're going to do a drill team that's a part of Vegas.
So I'm growing into the drill community again, because I've been out of it for many, many years. And me getting back into it, I see all these different fashions or all these different teams. Like you have Lone Guard,
Mhm.
you have River City, and all these other teams. And I never really knew the difference in what all these guys kind of bring. And for the first time, you're the one educating me on this because I didn't know that specifically y'all are a drill team. And it's nice to know that you put it on that same level as Kingsguard because, I mean, when you think about it, they were this professional team that was alongside of the community of Hawaii. And they have so much history there. And I hope that you with the Sin City and Battleborn
Invalid
continue this
barcode.
thing for as long as you can, because I'll tell you what, if I was half as fit as you were, and if I could drill the way you drill now, I'd probably be doing it till I was 52.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It makes me feel like a kid again. And I'm 35. I'm the oldest one in the group, but it just makes me want to get better, get stronger, faster, and just overall better. We all challenge each other and we all make each other better. I think just by hanging around our group, your drills, your skills will get better, and that's what I love about the Sin City and Battleborn.
Yeah, hell, you're making me think about considering finding a team and joining because since I've started this thing, I've been getting outside a little bit more and practicing a
Mm,
little bit more, trying to dust off all the cobwebs, see if I can do some of the stuff I used to do.
yeah.
And I'm a relatively fit guy. In no way, shape, or form am I out of shape, but I'll tell you what, I can't spin that weapon continuously for a good solo and remain well composed. So being able to
Yeah.
be our age and for you to be able to do it and like I said, be competitive at it, that's awesome. I applaud you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So looking back now, and with all the performances that you've done, is there one in particular that sticks out the most that maybe you're most proud of? Maybe not the one that you won worlds with, but is there a performance that you've done or that you've been a part of that you're like, man, this is this is everything that I ever wanted, and you couldn't be any happier, and it's just sublime. Has there ever been anything like that?
Honestly, the Golden State Warriors performance was like 5 years fast forward, honestly. Because when we started the drill team, that was one of our goals was to perform for like a professional NBA team. And I personally I didn't think it was gonna happen anytime soon. I thought we have to get some smaller performances in until then. But when it came to us through Matt Wendling, surprisingly, we were like, okay, well now we have to deliver and we
Right,
have
right.
we have to kind of like get serious. So we spent I would say 4 months preparing every week for that one performance. And we only had a minute and 40 seconds to do it. But I think that was our best performance to date, in my opinion. I think we were just the most locked in. We just did the thing, and it went flawless, in my opinion. And yeah, it was just so memorable because like it was the first feeling that like we were a professional drill team. That was the first time where we're like, oh, we're doing this, and we are a part of a professional drill team.
Yeah, I think I saw another team do it for a soccer game not long
River
ago.
City.
Yeah, so I saw that, but to be able to be on a stage like that, I mean, regardless of how long, I mean, a minute 40 in a moment where you have thousands of eyes on you, I can only
Mhm.
imagine that probably felt probably like an hour doing it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the pressure and everything that's going on, I can only imagine what was going through y'all's heads. Cause I mean, if it was me,
Yeah.
I would probably be thinking just don't drop.
Yeah.
Just like mess up, fumble, whatever, just don't
Uh-huh.
drop.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because obviously before that, like we actually went up there, we had rehearsals and we were practicing and whatnot. We had a couple chances to practice on the court, and I think we dropped one of our exchanges, and it nicked the floor
Oh,
of
shit.
the court.
Uh-huh.
And the organizer, he came out and he's looking at it. He's like, "Oh, it's not that bad," but and he just came up to us, just like, "Just don't drop." And we were like, "Okay." So
You
I
got it,
had to,
boss.
yeah, I was like, "Hey, listen, I don't care if you mess up, just don't drop." But it all turned out great. I think it was perfect.
Yeah, no, every wise words that's said before any drill team goes on to a pad, right? I don't
Yes,
care what. Go out there, have a good time, just don't drop.
yeah, don't drop, don't drop. I don't care about everything. Just don't drop.
Just don't drop.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny.
Oh my God, man. Like from the audience point of view, what do you think is something maybe they underestimate? What do you think from the audience side? Maybe that's something that they ought to have insight on to understand what the life of a solo driller is.
Well, with solo drill, I guess in my like experience, it's a lot of pressure to go out there, especially on the world stage or even on the national stage, I would imagine, because everything you train for is for that moment. And if you drop, a drop could be the difference between first and like 10th place.
Oh yeah.
So it's a lot of pressure, and the kids and obviously the adults who compete at worlds, they really want to give a good performance. That's what I don't think the audience understands is the pressure that these drillers are on, especially if they really want to win, they're going there to win. Some people are like super confident and it doesn't show, but sometimes you could see from a driller going out there, you could see how nervous they are. So I think that's one thing.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I never had the opportunity to perform on a national stage, but I got to be able to perform and for a state in Texas. And just it being on a local platform, I mean, still, there's still just such an immense amount of pressure. And like I was telling Matt Windling the last time and right around the time when you and I were probably in high school at the time, that
Mhm.
nationals in those moments, once everything was done, they put worlds out on the center stage and it was just them.
Yeah.
And it was solely them and everything was done. And you had no choice but to either sit on the bleachers or get out there in arm's length and go watch them. But you just had you had all these eyes staring down on you. And I know that pressure can definitely get to you. And with all that buildup, all that year, just to be able to go and God forbid drop, I can only imagine what that does with your confidence and maybe of course the ROTC kids and the pro drillers like yourself understand that kind of pressure, but to the people of the unknown,
Yeah.
definitely. I think that's definitely an amount of pressure these people do not quite understand neither.
Yeah. And it's funny because I still get those jitters even now. And I've been competing and performing for so long, but I like silently, I kind of do it for that reason because I want to get over that fear. I want to conquer that fear of being afraid to go out there. I want to do hard things in my life. And drill is one of those hard things that has given me confidence and also given me the ability to break that fear barrier.
And I'm sure with that comes a lot of support, right? And so obviously you're a married man, you have a family of your own. Entering that stage in your life of marriage and family, how has drill shaped you as a man in that way today?
Man, I've been married for about 5 years, 4 or 5 years, and just had a son. So that changes everything. But it's been like the biggest blessing for sure. And having juggling drill and life, definitely drill takes a back burner for sure. But it's shown me like the discipline, it's helped me in the military. It's built my confidence and allowed me to kind of be the man that I am today. And it's taught me leadership, which I can take, to my family and to my son. And the main thing it's shown me that I want to show my son when he's older is that if you really put your mind to something, you can actually achieve it. And drill was the first thing in my life that kind of showed me that because my dream to win worlds started in high school back in '08, I would say. And that dream never left. And then when I won in 2019, it made me reflect on all the years that I said I wanted to win. And it was like full circle moment. And I was like, wow, I just told myself I could do it and I did it. And so this is something I'm definitely going to tell my son early on so he could start that self belief train right away and he doesn't have to be unconfident and unsure the rest, his whole life. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, just setting the example. I have two boys of my own, and that's definitely something that's been with me since high school is drill team has shown me how to put my best foot forward. It's never shown me that if you want something, hard work can't get you there.
Right.
And all that has given me that same kind of message, that same push to my boys because my oldest, he's doing ROTC with Sotomayor, and I've bled that message to his team and him. And then my youngest boy, he's 12, he's going to be 13, and he's going to play middle school football.
Mm.
And, he likes to tell me all the time, he's like, oh, well, Dad, you never did football. You never, I'm like, hey, hold down here, kid. And, and, and I got to tell him that if you want it, if you want to play, if you want more play time, if you got to, whatever you got to do, it's all about the hard work you put into it.
Yep.
And you can't afford to back yourself out of that because the moment you start to cave in on yourself is the moment that everything else falls. And that is such a perfect answer because I know where you're coming from, and I'm sure every other student that may be listening has a parent that may be doing the same thing because I know me being the parent, I want them to be their absolute best at anything and everything they're going to do. And I tell my boys all the time, once you're out of the house, you can do whatever you want. If you're going to be a janitor, hey, well, guess what? You better be the best damn janitor out there. And it's hard work is what'll pay off. And I love the way you put that. That is so great. And now that marriage, family, being a father, now that drill is kind of slowing down, not 100%, because we're still active, we're still doing it, we're still planning on doing it till we're 50, right? But if this year was the last time you stepped out onto a competition floor, what would you want your legacy to be?
Man, I really would want people to remember me. If this is my last year and I was to retire and never come back, I just want people to see me as someone who cared about the sport, wanted the best for drillers, and loved the community and someone who worked his butt off and went after it. And I really want to motivate other cadets as well because when I was young, as motivated as I was very shy, very quiet, very unconfident. And so I had to build that confidence throughout the years. And even now, I'm still building that confidence within myself and trying to be the best version of myself. So if I can tell a driller that, like, hey, it is cool for you to be a champion, you just have to find that belief in yourself. Then I've done my job. If I could leave any type of impact on drillers is to find that self belief, that self confidence, and just to be kind to others and to do it for the love, and support each other. So that would be my number one kind of legacy that I want to leave.
I feel like that's what we get from the entire community is that everybody is, there's no kept secrets. there's no backdooring anybody. There's no real
Yep.
volatile kind of animosity towards anybody. It's all everybody's in it for the sport. Everybody's in it for the love of drill, and everybody's in it for to make this thing what it is. And I can already tell you, brother, you're already leaving it behind. I'm so glad that
Thank
that's
you.
what you want to leave
Appreciate that.
behind because
Thank
I guarantee you if it continues the way you are, it's going to happen. So this one is if you were to go back and talk to your younger self, whether it's your 20 year self being that freshman in high school to a brand new school, if you could go back in time and tell yourself one piece of advice, what would
it's
you tell
I
yourself?
think honestly, it would definitely be my freshman year when I first started, and I would just tell myself like, stop being so afraid of your own success. Like I would tell myself, you have more potential in you that you realize, and if you just took the time, had some discipline, and put in the work, you could really do bigger and better things than my current self right now. Obviously, without those mistakes, without those lessons, I wouldn't be who I am right now. But I think that's something I would tell my younger self is to find that belief in yourself and stop being afraid of failure, you know?
I tell the team that I work with all the time, I was like, hey, the mess ups are going to happen, but I would rather you mess up at 1,000 miles an hour than you mess up at 2 miles an hour. And we don't half ass here; we whole ass. And I preach and preach and preach about just going for whatever it is you want, and don't hold yourself back because in my situation right now, the Marine Corps made me a very strong,
Right.
independent guy, but it also made me kind of very reserved in a way. And I don't like putting myself out there, but me doing this podcast is just like you and I, right? We both love drill. And
Hmm.
me doing this is forcing me to get out there, and it's scary taking those first couple steps. It's definitely intimidating getting yourself out there and being afraid of failure or the mystery of the unknown. But for all you know, just through that door of what that mystery may be, it may be the green grass on the other side that you've been waiting for. And doing this right here with you, Alejandro, has made me realize that much more about
Hmm.
just getting out and conquering that fear and being more than just what you think you are. So I applaud you for that answer, and that is so great.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy what we think we're capable of and what we're actually capable of, not too far off. And what you're doing is amazing because this is a lot more of like a deeper kind of conversation into drillers that not a lot of people get to hear. But I think the younger drillers and just all drillers alike, they will take a lot from
Hmm.
it because someone could be listening to me and you right now and be like, I feel exactly that way. That's exactly how, I felt when I was a freshman and this and that. So it's like this is gonna help somebody for sure, because people they wanna know they're not alone in this. So I think that's super special.
And I appreciate it, brother. So I have one last question, and this question comes from a Bryson Maples.
Hello, my name is Bryson Maples. I am from Gilbert, Arizona, and I graduated from Campo Verde High School, class of 2026. And a question I have is it possible to win in today's meta stubbed?
If you're more successful with bladed or not as successful with the stud weapon, what do you think?
I think now bladed is so popular and like everyone's kind of doing it but I think a lot of people think they're doing it because they have to stay competitive, and there's some argument for that. But I tried bladed and it didn't fit my style of drill, and to be honest, I wasn't having fun doing it, and at the end of the day, when you're drilling, you want to have fun with it. So I kind of put the blade down and just stuck with stub, and I was having a blast. And I just think it's the way you put your uniform together, your routine together, like everything kind of has to fit. And honestly, if you're good enough for the judges to kind of give you those points that they wouldn't give you if you had bladed. So it's all preference. I think it doesn't matter. It just, now we're in an era where everyone's doing bladed. So it's a little bit more difficult to stand out, but it's not impossible,
Yeah, and same here. I definitely think you have more fun drilling stub than bladed.
Right.
I know the reason why you ought to learn once you're a post high school grad, if you want to stay in the drill world and you want to stay competitive. So I understand it to a point, but I think it's also about the crap that you're making and
Exactly.
how enjoyable it is for the individual yourselves. So for Bryson out there, if you're
Yeah.
listening, I hope Alejandro and I had answered your question, but I I hope that we're on the same page where at the end of the day, brother, get out there, have a blast, don't half-ass, whole-ass. Alejandro, I had a great time chatting with you. It's been great getting to know your story and everything more about you a little deeper. And if you could do me the favor and close us out here.
All right. So you ready? Most people would never understand what it takes. The hours, the sacrifices, the bruises, the failures, all for a few minutes on a competition floor. This is a world where perfection isn't expected, it's demanded. A world of intense formations, razor sharp movements, and thrilling tosses that leave crowds speechless. The difference between a winner and a champion: a winner practices until they get it right, a champion practices until they can't get it wrong. And yet, despite the talent, dedication, and passion, drill remains one of the most overlooked competitive activities in the nation. That changes here. This is where the stories are told. This is where the legends are remembered. This is where the future of drill is built. I'm Alejandro Polino. Welcome to Drill Pad, the voice of the drill community, the home of champions. Is that good? Trying my best.
Oh, yeah. No, that is great. Alejandro, I appreciate you taking the time out of obviously your very busy schedule while you're hustling and bustling at work. Do you have any final shout outs or anything you want to thank or put out there?
Just, just talking to other drillers. I've dreamt about somebody starting podcasts. I've done a drill podcast before, and I just love when people like you are trying to expand drill and just, make it more on the mainstream. So this is awesome, man. Thank you for this opportunity.
Awesome. And I can't thank you again too, brother. I appreciate it. And once again, for everybody else that's out there listening, please, if you have any questions, concerns for the next guest, email me, message me on Instagram, th3 drillpad th3 drillpad. Everybody, take care. You're all dismissed.